Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking baseball, headed to our nation's capital where the Nationals are hosting the Reds. We've got Sonny Gray on the mound for the Redlegs at plus 119. And then the home favorites, Steven Strasburg throwing for them. We've got Washington minus 133, total of 8 runs. We've got Ross Benjamin here, who is red hot when it comes to capping baseball, 37 and 18 over his last 55, and number one in units earned of all of our handicappers on picksandparlays.net. So he's doing amazing work so far this season. So you might want to take notice of some of the things that he says. Ross, who do you like, or what's the play here on Nats and Reds?
Well, thank you, Chelsea. And just so I don't tick anybody off, I'm number one in baseball, not in all sports. So, in any event, Sonny Gray to me has been a disappointment this year. I mean, comparatively, how he's looked in his first 2 years in Cincinnati, especially on the road. He's had 3 road starts this year, Chelsea, a 5.14 ERA and a 178 whip. And he's only lasted 14 innings in those 3 starts combined, which is a problem for Cincinnati because that means you have to depend on the Reds bullpen, which isn't very good. They've been shaky all season long, especially over the last 7 games, a 7.20 ERA while allowing 8 home runs and 30 innings pitched. That's not very good. And Washington's a hitter's ballpark, and that may backfire on the Reds, especially if they can't get innings out of Sonny Gray, which he hasn't shown he could do in his 3 previous road starts. Strasburg now coming off a 38-day layoff on the IL. Yes, he only faced Baltimore, but he pitched 5 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball, and that now makes 2 starts he's made this year at home. And in those 2 starts, 11 1/3 innings pitched and 0 earned runs allowed. I like this pitching matchup. Washington's bullpen is far superior than the Reds bullpen. I'm going to take the Washington Nationals here. Lay the 133 over the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, I will say the Reds have been a pretty solid hitting team, top 4 in OPS in the majors over the entire season, and still top 10 over the last 7 days. So the Reds can't hit, but I think the issue for me would be the Reds bullpen is how shaky they've been. In some of these leads, they're just not able to keep. However, I might take a gamble on the Reds in the first 5 just because I'm not sure how deep Strasburg will go. And for some reason or another, the Nats and their pitchers, they can't seem to keep him healthy. I know Strasburg has been number 1 on that list. I know there's a lot of people that have questions and concerns with how they have handled him over the years. But yeah, that Reds bullpen is definitely not one that I would like to trust. Looking at a total of 8 runs, I believe. Yep, 8 runs. Any leanings there?
Well, based on what I just said about Sonny Gray and his struggles on the road thus far, a lot of pitchers you would say, okay, well, a little over 5 and 3 starts, that's not terrible. Well, it is for him. He's not pitching up to his standards. And as we just touched upon, the Reds bullpen, absolutely horrible in allowing 8 home runs in their last 30 innings pitched. That's really high number for a bullpen. So I'm looking, I would say that I would lean toward going over the total here, Chelsea, especially Washington being the hitter's ballpark.
Right. The Reds actually have the second worst ERA as an entire staff in all of baseball.
There you go.
And let's look at their reliever stats, which I do not expect to be any better because some of their starters have been all right. I know Castillo has been a very big disappointment. I'm waiting for him to turn it around. He has been striking out a lot of guys. Yeah, the Reds have a 5.36 ERA as a bullpen staff, which is third worst in the majors behind just the Tigers and the Rockies. So not a staff that we would like to trust with our money.
It seems like everybody strikes out a lot of guys out these days, though, Chelsea. You know what I mean? It's not like the old days where power pitchers really jumped out at you. Now everybody's striking out. Everybody's worried about launch angles and home runs, and contact hitters are a thing of the past, it seems like.
Oh, for sure, because everybody wants to hit home runs, and that's how they get paid, and that's how they get endorsements. So that's just how it goes sometimes. That's going to do it for our baseball talk here on Picks and Parlays. Great stuff from Ross Benjamin, who is absolutely on fire. Number one in units earned on picksandparlays.net in baseball handicapping. So you might want to listen. Ross, thanks for joining us. All right. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you want to be notified every time we post a new video or go live, just hit that bell and turn on notifications.